So hey everybody, we're taking a look at the Never Summer Ripsaw. It is a new board, late release, and Never Summer sent this out to me for a demo, and I'm doing a little video before I send it back. So this is a very different camber profile that they call camber rocker as opposed to rocker camber, because it feels like there's a lot more camber going on here. It feels kind of neutral. And I'll show you, here's a quick comparison of their probably most popular all-mountain freestyle twin, the Never Summer Proto. And you can see how the tip and tail have a lot more rocker going on. Then you have its competitor, Mervin or Libtech has XC2 BTX, which is kind of the next step up, and you can see the tip and tail just like barely touch, with the bindings are weighting it down a little bit, but and it's pretty stable, and that's kind of still a little step below the Never Summer Ripsaw. So that was the Libtech TRS XC2 BTX, and that's a much softer, more playful all-mountain freestyle board, kind of more in the line of the Never Summer Proto compared to this. Then you have Ripsaw's camber rocker. So as you can see, it's flat. It might just be maybe like a 1/2 millimeter, 1/4 millimeter off the tip and tail, but for the most part, I would say it's flat from tip to tail. The profile, board feels flat. It doesn't really move like the hybrid rockers usually move a lot easier when you go like that. This is like rubbing against the table when I do that. Also, so you have a little rocker here, and then you have camber coming all the way back down, which is quite aggressive. You can see a little past the inserts there, starting at the inserts and going a little past, and then coming back down. And that is, it gives you more of a kind of a flat camber feel when you first get on it and you're making quick turns. And then when you engage into an actual harder carve, or a wider radius turn, you start to feel the board come alive and act much more like a camber board, and it kind of like, okay, this is fun. This is a really fun board. Before it feels kind of plankish. And then you start to pick up speed and you realize, okay, this thing bombs. It feels like a twin version of the Raptor. And it's very stiff. Its flex is a lot stiffer than the Proto. And then you have kind of the next step up from here is what Mervin's doing, is their C3 BTX, which is kind of like camber. So there's camber at the tip and tail that kind of come like this and then come back down to a rocker, but the rocker is sitting off the ground, so it feels like a camber board. This doesn't feel like a camber board. It's aggressive. It's a very aggressive board, but it doesn't have that catchy camber feel. It feels kind of catch-free like flat camber boards do. It's not as catch-free and as forgiving as the Proto or even the Libtech XC2 BTX TRS, but it's definitely not like a camber board, and there's a lot less consequence. So you can bomb, you can carve, just like on camber. You don't have to really lean out, get your knees out wide, and really kind of like put pressure on the tip and tail to keep them down when you carve, like you do with a lot of hybrid rocker boards. This carves just like you're riding a camber board. It feels really stable. You can keep your feet where you want and just really lean in and engage where you want. This is a bomber board. This is not for everybody. You can see here, there isn't much going on in terms of, like butterability, and it kind of let me down there. I think it might actually be fun to see something like almost like this with a softer flex, kind of similar to the Proto, so it could be a little more playful when you want to slow down. But this has a specific purpose, and it's for a smaller group of riders who, you know, want to just straight line, love aggressive twins, like riding switch a lot, and like a centered stance, but want to bomb like they're on a, like, you know, an all mountain to, you know, aggressive all mountain to free ride board, and just want speed, want to carve, and just, you know, want that aggressive all mountain freestyle ride. And this will satisfy a lot of riders. It pops really well. The edge hold is, you know, a little bit better than some of the other Never Summer board. It doesn't feel like it's in the realm of, you know, more aggressive magnet traction. So, and I kind of like that, because I think a lot of riders who, you know, don't see a lot of icy conditions, that are mainly riding in hard snow to powder and soft groomed snow, will love this board, because it never grabs too hard, and it never really lets you down when the conditions are harder. It's not a real slidey, you know, the edge doesn't come out underfoot, and it pops incredibly well. Really snappy up for an ollie, because you're just kind of right there, and you know, you have to be a stronger rider to really appreciate this board. But if you are, I think you could really like this. And, you know, all in all, you know, again, I think, you know, the Proto is going to hit a wider variety of riders, all mountain freestyle riders. But there will be a select few who will really appreciate and prefer this over, you know, the Proto, or if you kind of just always wanted a Raptor and a twin, this is what you got here. So, Never Summer Ripsaw, you can kind of get an idea here. You see that just booming camber. Here's a look at the base. Didn't really wax this, and it still held speed pretty well. All in all, Never Summer Ripsaw. Great board for the right kind of rider.